Well, our next and final award makes history for the ASTMH tonight. Dr. Stephen Higgs, will you please join me on the stage? Those of you who were attending last year's awards ceremony in Atlanta will recall that Steve announced that we would have at this meeting the first society-level medal named after an iconic woman in tropical medicine. And he reminded us it's taken us since 1903 to do this. Earlier this year, we solicited nominations from the tropical medicine community, and we were delighted but not surprised to receive the names of 57 outstanding women. Ultimately, we narrowed it down to one name, Dr. Higgs.
The medal is named after Clara Ludlow. She joined the society in 1908. She was the first woman member and also the first non-physician member of our society. She was a female entomologist with scientific zeal and tenacity. I guess all entomologists are like that. But she battled the odds of age, and she battled odds of her gender. She was here at a time when there was skepticism of women in science. She achieved a bachelor's, a master's, and a PhD at a time when women were not really able to succeed in academia. Clara was a scientist who was not afraid to challenge giants in the field. If some of you have read some of the things that she read, she had an amazing way with words, and she was quite willing to tell older men when they were wrong. Her work represents success despite obstacles, and her life's work advanced the understanding of tropical medicine. She was remarkable and talented, unafraid and certainly unapologetic for her work and her success. Recipients of the Ludlow Medal will represent the best of Clara's qualities. It's open to women and to men. Individuals receiving this medal will be honored for their inspirational and pioneering spirit, for their ability to persist despite the odds and contribute to understanding and advancement of tropical medicine. You will be able to read more in an upcoming article in the American Journal of Tropical Medicine and Hygiene.
So it's our honor to announce the first recipient of the Clara Ludlow Award as Dr. Ruth Nussensweig. An MD and PhD, Dr. Nussensweig's extraordinary contributions forever changed malaria vaccine research. At a time when it was thought that a malaria vaccine was impossible, her work with her husband and collaborator Victor Nussensweig showed otherwise, paving the way for today's malaria vaccine efforts. She has been described as focused, creative, and with a powerful, indomitable personality. Among her many recognitions, she is an elected member of the National Academies of Science. In 1997, she was the first female recipient of our society's Joseph Augustine LaPrince Medal, and for most of her long career, she was an active ASTMH member. She published over 250 papers during a 50-year period, with 24 of those papers published in the American Journal of Tropical Medicine and Hygiene. Dr. Nussensweig is unable to be here tonight, but we are sending a video of this evening so that she can enjoy for herself the honor and the gratitude that this society feels towards her accomplished career. We're pleased to announce that one of her sons, Andre, is in the audience tonight, along with one of her grandsons, Julian, and I'm supposed to say hi, Samuel. He couldn't make it tonight, and welcome and thanks for sharing this very special moment with us. So Andre is accepting the medal on his mother's behalf. Andre, please come to the stage. And a really fun part of this is that we also have, thanks to Dr. Higgs and genealogy sleuthing, two of Clara Ludlow's relatives who are with us tonight, Elizabeth Thomas and Sarah Brown Blake. Would you also please come to the stage? So Elizabeth is standing in the middle. We had a delightful reception with them. She's a second-year postdoc student in the Social and Behavioral Interventions program in the Department of International Health at Johns Hopkins University Bloomberg School of Public Health here in Baltimore. And Sarah Blake, she just got back from the Congo. Sarah Blake Brown is a postdoc scholar at the Betty Irene Moore School of Nursing at the University of California, Davis. Her professional nursing experience is rooted in community and public health with a focus on maternal child health and adolescent health, and she just defended her dissertation. So clearly the spirit of Clara Ludlow is in their DNA. Elizabeth and Sarah, we're so pleased to have you here tonight. I think, Elizabeth, you'll be saying something?
Thank you, Dr. Walker. We are thrilled to have been invited to be a part of this awards ceremony and to represent Clara Ludlow's family. Thank you to the Society and the Awards Committee for recognizing her contributions to the organization and to science in this amazing way. Just over a year ago, our extended family made a pilgrimage to Arlington National Cemetery to inter our grandfather. We wandered the grounds, visiting over a century's worth of family headstones. Clara, our grandfather's great aunt, was our final stop. We took pictures, discussed her work, marveled at her fascinating life and the trails she blazed. It was particularly a significant experience for me and Elizabeth. As Dr. Walker described, I'm a public health nurse and a postdoctoral scholar at UC Davis, and currently focusing on equitable access to clean and affordable drinking water in the San Joaquin Valley in California under the mentorship of Dr. Jill Joseph.
And I am a second-year doctoral student in international health here in Baltimore at Johns Hopkins, focusing in community and hospital-based water sanitation and hygiene interventions under the mentorship of Dr. Christine Marie George and my advisor, Peter Winch, with ongoing fieldwork in the United States, the Democratic Republic of the Congo, and in Bangladesh. And we are the first in our family, male or female, to pursue careers in science since Clara. As we stood by Clara's headstone that day, we noticed the engraving, and we were struck by it. It reads, "Daughter of Jacob." Her father was a U.S. Army surgeon during the Civil War, but it wasn't quite filling Clara's history. So it is particularly gratifying that we get to recognize Clara today and her legacy nearly 110 years after she became the first woman to acquire membership to this organization with the naming of the first society-level medal named after a female leader in tropical medicine. We think she would have been thrilled by the number of women in the audience today and the women who continue to pave the way, and by the incredible work of the award's first recipient, Dr. Ruth Nussweig.
Thank you very much, Elizabeth and Sarah. So we've actually cast 2 medals. One is for your family, and we'd like to give that to you. And then we've cast a medal, of course, for Dr. Nussweig, our first recipient, and we'd like to ask you to give that medal so that history passes on this way. Thank you.
So Ruth is really grateful to the Ludlow family and to everyone at the American Society of Tropical Medicine. Prizes like this are truly an honor, and Ruth is grateful to all her collaborators, students, mentors, everyone who contributed to her research throughout her career. Ruth has been conducting malaria research since the 1960s, and I think a key moment in her research occurred in 1967 when she discovered that she could induce an immune response in mice by injecting them with an irradiated malaria parasite. At that point, she and her husband, my dad, Victor, began collaborating. And together, they discovered that this immune response was linked to a protein on the surface of the parasite called CSP, a potential target for protective antibodies. And I was pretty young at the time. I didn't really understand what this was about, but I could really feel the excitement when they finally cloned this gene. And further experiments in animal models subsequently demonstrated that subunits of this protein created an immune response that prevented infectious molecules from binding to cells in the liver. And this work has been the basis of the RTS vaccine for malaria, and it's the first and to date the only vaccine that shows a protective effect against malaria among young children in phase 3 clinical trials. The WHO announced this year that Ghana, Kenya, and Malawi would participate in the malaria vaccine implementation program that will make the RTS vaccine available in selected areas of these 3 countries in 2018. So this marks really an important step towards making the vaccine available on a global scale. Thus, Ruth's work, which she started almost 60 years ago, about the time that I was born, actually, will continue to impact millions of lives globally, particularly in developing countries. Both for herself and Victor, one of the greatest sources of pleasure in their lives has been the knowledge that their joint efforts have contributed towards the eradication of one of humanity's most deadly disease, which has been a global scourge for millennia. Although she retired from lab work, she continues to this day to actively follow research in parasitology and vaccine development. And I know that Ruth would have liked to have been here not only to accept the award, but also to meet and discuss with colleagues, collaborators, friends, and scientists who are working tirelessly to make progress in resolving the problem of tropical infectious disease. This meeting exemplifies the joyful engagement in research for which Clara Ludlow was most admired by her colleagues. And on a personal level, as her son, it's truly an honor for me to accept the Ludlow Medal on Ruth's behalf. So thank you very much.
So thank you, Elizabeth Thomas, Sarah Brown Blake, and Andrew Nussensweig. And once again, I want to thank Dr. Steve Higgs for his dedication and support of all women in our society. As president last year, you made this a priority. Thank you very much, Steve. What a spectacular evening this has been, and this is only the first night. Thank you all for staying, for celebrating our members' achievements and accomplishments and careers in their early stages. We wish you all the best, young investigators. It's been a pleasure for me to host tonight's event, and I hope you are as inspired and humbled as I am. What a great way to start 3.5 days of scientific discourse. This concludes our opening session. Please join us and our wonderful 2017 exhibitors here in Swing Hall for the opening reception, level 100. Thank you.